right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
A final goodbye. Bringing back everlasting memories.
You know, when we finally got to see him and walk by, we thought we were on cloud nine.
How Pope Francis is still striking a chord with some local students.
After a quiet and cool finish to the weekend, we're already looking ahead to our next weather impact alert day. What those 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts will do and our other main threats as we approach Tuesday.
Fighting for family. A tragic shooting leaves one woman dead. Now her loved ones are keeping her name alive.
She was my world, my best friend.
It's still like a shocking to me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm still like I'm in a dream.
Good evening, I'm Robert Townsend. Tonight, a man is in jail after being charged in a deadly domestic disturbance in Afton. He's accused of killing a woman police say he was dating. New tonight, 5 on Your Side's Annie Kroll spoke with the victim's family about the legacy they know she's already leaving behind.
It's still like a shocking to me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm still like I'm in a dream.
The new reality for Calvinita Brock after losing her youngest daughter, Kelsey Elam. St. Louis County Police say just after 11 p.m. on Thursday, a fight between 21-year-old Martino Lewis and a woman he was in a romantic relationship with broke out in the 5800 block of Grace Avenue. Charging documents say an eyewitness overheard an argument on Thursday night, but it was Kelsey's family who says that escalated into the man they call Tino punching Kelsey so badly in the mouth she started bleeding.
They always been arguing for some reason. I always stayed into it because my baby was trying to, she's a legend, she was trying to do her things, but this was one that she was always supporting, taking care of, helping. This a dude that she was doing all this stuff for, and this is what you did?
Right.
Documents say Kelsey was afraid Lewis was going to get her gun and asked a witness to call police. While he was on with 911, he heard a gunshot and saw Lewis run out of the house to drive away in Kelsey's car. Less than 48 hours later, Brock, who said the two were close friends, had to clean out the home her daughter was killed in.
All that blood and brains and whatever that's in her room, that was bow bow. That wasn't nothing about drop on the floor.
No.
Nothing.
Zoria Moten emphasizing how amazing her older sister was.
She can light up the room. She very playful. She funny. She outspoken. I can describe Kelsey in so many ways. She was just a lot. She was my world, my best friend.
Family said she was an advocate for the transgender community and was a consistent friend to strangers.
She'll take her shoes off her feet and get to a person.
Do it plenty of times.
You know,
every time we ride past the homeless, she always give everybody $1. She makes sure you hungry. She just one of them type of persons that always looked out for everybody.
Annie Kroll, 5 on Your Side.
Now, if you'd like to help the family pay for funeral expenses, you can find a link to donate to their GoFundMe page in the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com. The service is scheduled for May 9th. Lewis is being held tonight on a $400,000 bond. Well, just hours ago, we learned a 16-year-old died in a motorcycle crash in Franklin County. It happened just before noon today on Pottery Road near Washington, Missouri. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says the teen was driving too fast and flipped the bike on its side when he came up on a curb. He then slid into the front of an oncoming car. The teen died at the scene. The driver of the other car suffered moderate injuries. Tonight, we are preparing you for a weather impact alert. It's calm in downtown St. Louis right now, but meteorologist Gary Frank is tracking some possible strong storms coming our way. Gary.
Yeah, good evening, Robert. As we see a quiet finish to the weekend for the most part, we're already preparing for some stronger storms in the region, and it looks like we're going to see a few impact us at the start of early next week. Right now, it is quiet outside, and we're actually tracking a little bit of rain off to our southwest. It's 57 degrees. Now an east breeze with our dew point still at 44 with our temp at 57. That number needs to be closer to the actual temperature. Otherwise, that dry air is still fighting this band of rain off to our southwest. And that's why you've seen it considerably fall apart. But that is what is headed our way. And there are some areas with a few light showers at the lake, Jeff City. And as we continue to watch that get closer, there are a few showers that I do expect overnight. Next few hours, mostly dry. By tomorrow morning, we'll see a few light showers around. I don't think it's going to impact us for too long, but it's something to pay attention to. But really, this severe threat on Tuesday is something we're watching specifically. Now, this is not some widespread severe weather outbreak, but when we're almost 90 degrees on Monday and then things change rapidly Tuesday, that's what we're watching out for specifically. And we'll time out updates on those wind gusts and what the radar may look like here in just a few minutes.
Developing tonight, the Major K Squad arrested a man in connection with a deadly shooting in North St. Louis County. Arvid Wilkerson now faces first-degree murder charges after officers found a man shot in the street in Beverly Hills Wednesday morning. That's near Lucas and Hunt in North County. Police later identified the victim as Daryl Scott. Wilkerson is being held tonight on a $500,000 bond. Today, hundreds of people crowded St. Peter's Square at the Vatican to say a final goodbye to Pope Francis. The Pope's funeral was attended by multiple world leaders, including President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. The pontiff's body was carried to his final resting place in the Basilica of St. Mary Major. The cardinals will go back to his tomb tomorrow to pray by his marker. Now, those in attendance say they will remember the Holy Father for his kindness.
His love for the poor was really beautiful, and his just immense humility.
He was different. He was not afraid to speak, and according to me, in my opinion, he was always ready to give a voice to the voiceless.
The cardinals will now prepare for the conclave to choose the next pope. Well, as the world bids farewell to Pope Francis, some in St. Louis aren't just remembering a leader, they're remembering a moment. Students from St. Louis University High School met the pontiff in Rome. An experience they tell 5 on Your Side's Travis Cummings still strikes a chord.
Tucked away inside the band room at St. Louis University High, photographs of powerful encounters with one of the most influential popes of our time. On the weekend of Pope Francis's burial, these melodies spark reflection, echoing life-changing moments.
This piece is entitled Blessed Hope.
Jeff Pottinger, the band and orchestra director, recalls trips to Rome to play for the Pope himself.
You know, when we finally got to see him and walk by, we thought we were on cloud nine, and then for him to stop was just amazing.
And then another trip in 2023.
We walked in and they actually had a whole performance place set up for us with a microphone. And one of the coolest performances of my life I'll never forget.
A moment that struck a chord for seniors Blake Dorn and Franklin Buckerich.
We were playing, and then I see the Pope driving up in between us, and I stopped playing for a second just to watch the Pope, and I'm in awe.
So you'd think that he'd be like some guy that'd be really hard to talk to, but he comes up to us, he asks us to pray for him, and we're like, we feel the vibe. We're just like, we're like, man, just pray for us. We're joking with him, we're having fun, and he kind of feels like he's one of us.
Humility, compassion, reform are a few words that reflect Francis's reign. The very virtues taught on this Jesuit campus.
So I think that for our boys to see a world which it can be so fragmented, that they could learn from the Holy Father to sit and listen to people. There were these various people who detracted from the Pope throughout his whole pontificate, and he never lashed out.
These trips go far beyond performance.
Just getting to interact with people, different cultures, different languages has been like a really cool growing experience.
We're taught to be men for others, so we need to reach out to those people in our community that feel marginalized or silenced.
Here, the Pope's legacy lives on through music, through mission, through men for others. Travis Cummings, 5 on Your Side.
Students and staff at SLU both expressed the significance of Pope Francis being a Jesuit pope simply because of his leadership style, particularly his emphasis on social justice and a global, interconnected perspective. Marathon Madness.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was amazing.
See how this year's racers fared in the Go St. Louis Marathon. Playtime is over. The country's trade war threatens to lock up the toy chest. How tariffs are impacting your favorite toys.
As we look at our extended Day 4 risk from the Storm Prediction Center, we're all highlighting that 15% chance for severe weather. We'll talk about why it's such a broad area and go into more specifics about the threats you'll expect on Tuesday.
Today, nearly 20,000 people ran in the 25th annual Go St. Louis Marathon. The big race kicked off just after 7 o'clock this morning. The event not only hosted a full marathon, but also a 10K, a 5K, and a 1-mile fun run. Now, runners in the full marathon ran all over St. Louis, hitting spots like the Arch, the Anheuser-Busch Brewery, and the popular aquarium. 5 on Your Side's own Paul Cook got a chance to talk to the winner.
You are the star. You won this thing. You came through. Did you know everyone was rooting for you when you came down that hill?
It was great. I live like 30 minutes outside of the city. Surprisingly, there's a lot of people who knew my name. So I was getting a lot of like, congratulations, Dylan. And yeah, it was awesome. It was amazing.
After the races, runners could enjoy an after party featuring live music, local food, and a lot more. Looks like they definitely had a lot of fun there. Also today, dozens of people volunteered to help rebuild people's homes. The group Rebuilding Together St. Louis got more than 200 people to help prepare homes and repair these homes for seniors, people with disabilities, and veteran families. Now, the projects are completely free for the homeowner. Toy trouble, how the trade war is shrinking shelves at the toy store. That's coming up next. Well, new tariffs could impact everything from the auto industry to grocery stores. Now, caught in the middle of this pricing battle are toy stores. NBC's Deanna Durante shows us how a trade war could be putting a stop to playtime.
And our costs go up.
Caroline Brandt says she learned a lot from the pandemic. Buy when you can, because you never know when that supply chain will be severed. But it's not just shopping she needs to rethink. Also, loyalty cards to coupons. Even encouraging customers to share on social media, she says, will help shops like her if a trade war heats up.
We are choosing to move forward with a lot of our Made in America in our main USA brands.
Christy Mack Lytle, owner of Niche in Collegeville, says it's not going to be enough to order all American. She's going to have to be different from other stores.
We have a brand, for example, who thrifts pieces and then they cut and resew, so everything is in America.
Mack Lytle says fast fashion will take a hit, and that could be good for shops like hers as customers realize cheaper isn't always better.
People have been buying fast fashion for a couple years now, and they're realizing that those pieces are just going in the trash, or they're donating those pieces pretty quickly because of quality issues.
Well, today we saw a partly cloudy day. It was a little cool at times, but overall not too bad. Meteorologist Gary Frank joins us now with the weather impact forecast. Hi, Gary.
Yeah, good evening, Robert. Still a little cool outside as we look at the airport, but not bad as we finish the rest of the weekend on the quiet side. We are tracking some light rain, but our current temperature is holding steady, still in the mid to upper 50s overall. The big picture shows there's no significant cool air mass, but we still see the influence of that east or northeast breeze. We've transitioned to the east more. It will transition to the southeast. So it helps us warm up a little bit more tomorrow, but we're going to be dealing with this leftover cloud cover. You can still see where we have a couple of spots that are producing some larger hail as we cross the Texas border. But as far as severe weather is concerned, that's not going to be an issue for us tonight. As we look at what's going on tomorrow morning, though, you'll probably start off with some light to moderate rain in some cases. Not all of this reaching the surface is still fighting a dry east breeze. You'll see that in. Now, at some point, this will be overcome, but I do think that rain is a possibility through about midday, and then it comes to a close. We'll get you to that point here and talk about tomorrow as we start off with probably somewhere between 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Some light to moderate rain is around, and then after that, our temperatures will go up into the mid to upper 60s, but I think most of the rain is out of here by the afternoon. Then we'll track our next storm system, and this is the one that we're going to talk about more specifically. Now, notice where this upper level energy is as we look at these dips in the jet stream. Most of that strong wind, once again, which is going to be responsible for the core of the severe weather, is well to the north. And that's why we have a moderate risk on day 3 from the Storm Prediction Center. That's pretty significant. The bottom line is that's where the bullseye for severe weather is. And you'll notice as we move this further south, we're really not involved in that. This is a timing issue. This is not some widespread severe weather outbreak, but we will have some stronger storms. And that's why on day 4, you see this different color, this 15% risk, which will change tomorrow as the Storm Prediction Center products are outlined. There's a wide area of severe weather as this front moves south. It really has to do with some ingredients are in place, but watch where this front is. You'll see that south-southwest breeze Tuesday morning, still very muggy outside. But as that front stalls and kind of sits around here with the gradual heating of the day, watch how rain is around here over the next several hours. And you'll see rain kind of work its way along that front. And that's why I think we'll see a few storms that are on the stronger side, a couple of areas with larger hail, and maybe some wind gusts that are higher. And that's what we talked about our weather impact alert day. It's really around all day. I don't think it's going to rain for everybody all day. And certainly we won't see those higher end wind gusts all day, but they'll be possible at times. Like I said, it's 50 to 60 mile an hour wind. I'm not expecting a tornado threat, but it's not out of the question that we'll see an isolated one, maybe just one. But flooding is not something right now. We'll probably see some localized flooding throughout the rest of the week. But when you look at the next few days, look at tomorrow. We're still going to sneak into the upper 60s, but we're talking about Monday being close to 90 degrees. It's very mild. And then you're going to see the low end of side where we have scattered showers and storms on Tuesday, our next weather impact alert day. And then that front kind of sits around with us Wednesday and Thursday. So we're back in the 70s with chances for rain around. So it's going to be a warm start to the week, but a few more thunderstorms. Not as significant a risk as the one as the last time, but still a couple severe thunderstorm warnings. They buzz your phone. They get your attention, especially if you're at work or school.
Gary, thanks a lot. 86 on Monday.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Corey's here now with what's coming up in sports.
Robert, we had a couple of nail biters downtown today, and two of the biggest stars in St. Louis rose to the occasion. From Busch to the Dome, we have it all covered next in sports. In a short 10-game season, you cannot afford a 3-game losing streak, not if you want to make the playoffs. So essentially, the Battlehawks could not lose tonight to the Michigan Panthers. Let's head to the Dome. Hakeem Butler, back in action. Max Duggan, he's your new starting quarterback, and both of them showed out. Duggan first. 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half as he shows off some of that toughness that made him a legend at TCU. 17-6 St. Louis at the half. Michigan battled back though. Battlehawks down in the third quarter when the Panthers forget to cover Butler. Big mistake. He waltzes in for a 67-yard score right past me on the sideline. Panthers took the lead back, so the Battlehawks had to score again with 6 minutes left, and they did it in style. Trick play, Blake Jackson with the throw to, you guessed it, Hakeem Butler, a 57-yard TD as the Battlehawks get a huge win, 32-27. Butler had 124 yards and 2 scores in his first game of the season. So how about that trick play for the game winner?
As soon as I stepped up and I see it came, even with the guy, I knew he was leaving, so I just put it in the spot for him to go chase it down and make a play, and I had trust in him, and that's one thing on this team is just trusting the guys to make the plays and across the board, and that's why, you know, when we're doing that, we're operating like that, we're going to come out victorious every time.
Fun day at Busch Stadium for the Cardinals against the Brewers. Lars Nootbaar was hot. 2 hits, 2 RBIs for Newt today. Second one gave the Cards a 4-0 lead. Sonny Gray was fine on the hill. The defense behind him was even better. We'll get to that in a second. Here we go. Victor Scott the second. There he goes. What a catch in center field from Vic. Let's go ahead now to the 9th inning. Cards up 1, Ryan Helsley on. This game's over, right? Well, not so fast. Jackson Churio blasted 2-run shot, tie game at 5, but the home team bats last. Nolan Arenado sends the fans home happy with a walk-off homer to left. He's fired up, so are his teammates as the Cards take the series against the Brew Crew.
You can count on Helsley all the time. He's been really good. At times it's not going to work out, but for the guys to bounce back and have his back and be able to end it right there was important.
We can walk it off, you know? I mean, we can win this game, and it's not over, and we didn't feel like the game was over. You know, when Chiro hit that homer, it was a great swing, but we felt like, hey, we got to find a way to win this game.
Sad news in Cardinal Nation today. Former longtime executive Walt Jocketty has died. Jocketty was the Cardinals' general manager from 1994 to 2007, winning a World Series in 2006. Jocketty was the force behind hiring Tony La Russa as manager, bringing Mark McGwire to St. Louis, acquiring future Hall of Famer Scott Rowland, and trading for Adam Wainwright, among other moves. Jocketty was 74 years old. After a 7-2 win in Game 3, I know most Blues fans, and perhaps even the Blues themselves, were ready to get back at the Jets. Don't worry, the wait is almost over. Game 4 is tomorrow at noon. Blues got some practice in today at Centene Community Ice Center. I don't know if fans should count on 7 more goals in Game 4, but the Blues have firmly announced their presence in the playoffs, and so has Cam Fowler. He currently has the most playoff points of any defenseman in hockey and set a Blues D-man record with 5 points in a playoff game last game. Monty discussed Fowler's calm nature that is paying off so far in the postseason.
It's like his pulse never gets above 60. You know, it's like, oh, okay, I did that wrong? No problem. What should I have done? Oh yeah, and my voice might be elevated. I don't know. And he's just like, I understand. Thank you. You know, he just, and it's even if you praise him, hey, 5-point night, great game. Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, he's just really calm.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
Maybe City SC's new addition, John Day Silva, can help them have a jolt offensively tomorrow against LAFC. He may get some time in his first game. City has not scored multiple goals in a match since March 9th. They haven't won a game since March 15th, but their resolve is still strong.
It's just a matter of time. And yeah, sometimes you go through these times when it's difficult, whether either you're conceding a lot of goals or you're not scoring a lot of goals. And it's tough. There's no hiding behind that. But I think as a team, we are doing everything we can, whether, through hard work and through doing extra training and extra finishing, the attacking players to get their reps in so that they feel confident in games.
Finally, congrats to Brady Cook, the former Mizzou quarterback, Chaminade High School grad, and St. Louis area native. Did not hear his name called in the NFL draft, but he still found a home. Cook signed as an undrafted free agent with the New York Jets, where he will join his 7th overall pick Tiger teammate lineman Armand Membu. Also, congrats to East St. Louis Flyer, former East St. Louis Flyer, Dominic Lovett. He's joining the Detroit Lions, who just have a whole bunch of St. Louis guys all over the field. They love guys from St. Louis, and I can't blame them.
Yeah, they're going pro.
Yeah.
Corey, thanks. Gary's got a final check out our weather.
Yeah, I think overall, as we look, I prepare for our next severe weather threat. It really is Tuesday, and I'm not expecting some widespread big issue, but we will see pockets of storms, and some of them throughout the day could be severe. 50 to 60 mile an hour wind gusts, large hail. So just be prepared for that. And I think tomorrow morning you're going to start off with a few light showers. By Monday, it's in the upper 80s. It is warm, but then we look ahead at Tuesday. Like I said, that's the day where we're going to see our temps fall, and then that front kind of hangs around, really doesn't fully clear us out, as we see rain chances Wednesday into Thursday as well. And it doesn't look like it's going to be dry after that through the weekend, but we'll probably see upwards of 2 inches of rain at the very least from Tuesday through Thursday. So other than that, all right.
Thanks a lot. And that's 5 on your side at 10. Saturday Night Live is next. Start your day with Today in St. Louis, beginning bright and early at 6 a.m. Have a great tomorrow, everyone.